In the county, there are 17 911 centers located around the county. We do about 100,000 911 calls a month. And so we've spent a lot of time to make sure that the text to 911 would work properly, that we would be able to transfer if we needed to transfer to the right location. And we spent a lot of time doing that. And so in Florida, as you know, there are 67 counties, and we are about the 25th to come online with the service, but we are very confident that it's going to work properly and will provide benefit to the community. So again, we are very excited to be working with the community and to provide this service. So I'm going to introduce Dan to you. Dan Koenig. Dan has been very involved with the centers and the people who answer the calls and training around the actual service. So, Dan.
Hello.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dan Koenig. I'm the 911 Planning Coordinator for Palm Beach County. Now we're going to talk about a little bit the operation, how to use 911. The text to 911 service, very simple, the same way you would text anyone else. Go to the to box on your phone, type in 911, no dashes, just 911. Go down to the message field, your name. Number one, we like your location, because we'll tell you right off the bat, the location service is not as good as a wireless call. This still uses the cell phone towers to route. So you may end up going to a 911 center other than Boynton Beach first and have to be transferred in. But we do have full capabilities to transfer back and forth. Also, if you're in another area, you may have to be transferred. Boynton Beach dispatches for their own fire department and their own emergency medical services, and other parts of the county that may have to be transferred. So we're looking at, and this again for 911, this is an enhancement of the 911 service. We still think for the normal day-to-day calls that you have, if you have Florida Relay service or TDD devices at home, video service, that's still for the normal everyday routine calls to the police department. That would be preferable to use. Again, we understand the language is going to be a little bit different. We need location, what's going on, what is the emergency, whether you need police, fire, or emergency medical services, where you're located, how many people are involved. Also, any access to the house to let the fire department know or policemen know any special instructions that they need while responding to the house. I'm trying to think that without my notes. Again, I know one of the things we talk about many different communities with text. We also, you can only text to one person. It has to be a direct text to 911. You can't text a family member and 911. That call won't go through. It's just point to point from your phone to 911. If you try and add somebody as far as a group text, it won't go through. The other thing, I don't know about, a few people out here, emojis and other aspects of the cell phones don't work with the 911 service. If you have any app other than the actual text service on your phone, on top of it, they won't work also. It has to be the text messaging application from the phone itself. I'll open up to questions at this point. I think, straight and simple, probably is going to be best if you have any questions that we can answer for you now.
Do you respond back when you receive a text?
Yes. Yes, we'll respond back. Most will be an automated message saying, don't know the exact, this is Boynton Beach Police, where is your emergency? And that's when you would type in your address, what the emergency is, and what type of help is needed. And then that conversation will stay alive until help arrives, or if the call taker disconnects, they'll let you know saying, okay, we're disconnecting now. If anything changes or you need additional help, please text 911 again.
How clear is the texting for 911? I mean, you put your name and your address, and for home or no, or wherever you're located, right? What should I put down in there?
Yes, the location that you want to send in the text message is where you need, where the emergency is, where the response is. So If you're at Publix, in the Publix parking lot, you're gonna text, I need an ambulance in the Publix parking lot. Or, ambulance Publix parking lot. So, and obviously which, Publix on Gateway, since I used a bad example to begin with.
What is the sign for? I don't understand what the sign is. Publix, the store, the grocery store.
No, the grocery store.
Publix, okay, I didn't know that sign. Okay, that's fine. Oh, we sign Publix like that sometimes. We just sign Publix this way. Publix, okay, I guess that's the interpreter said. And the signal. What about the signal? Signal? Oh, okay, I thought you had a question.
I was just explaining to her, it was just reiterating.
I have a question. If it's 911, because the address is first, right? If I have to put town Boynton Beach on there also?
Zip code.
With the zip code, do I need all of that? I must include that?
The street address and city would be best if you're local, if you're out of the area. If you know the zip code, that always helps, but as long as we have the street address and city is what we're looking for. And then the 911 call centers have their computer system, will help locate you also from that point.
Okay. I have a question. So, gate, this is the question.
Gate code,
Gate
like,
code,
so do I need
yes.
to provide the gate code and the access to get into my, community?
Yes, that would be something to let the dispatchers know after they find out where you are, the emergency. The dispatchers will ask the same they will if you use the TDD or Florida Relay Service. Is there any other information we need to know? Some will be, I see Boone here, but some will be, are there dogs on the premise? If you do have a dog, to try and, lock the dog away while the paramedics come in. That's where a gate code information, the front door is unlocked, there's a key under. If you can't get the door to unlock it, my neighbor has the key. Any information that's gonna help the paramedics, firemen, or police get to you, that would also be passed on along in the text message.
We're very friendly, so we don't have to be that friendly about that,
No.
like, if we live like in a town that's like, with gates that go up and down, people just go in, there's no code, so I'm not really worried about that, so I don't have to be concerned about that at all in my community.
So like if I have a friendly dog, I don't have
Yes.
to really.
And that's normally the case, but unfortunately, I've been, and maybe Chief Snow could back me up though, sometimes when dogs aren't used to the situation, even though it's normally a friendly dog, but you have people coming and picking up and shaking their master, they may get a little defensive. So that's why we do it, as a safety for everybody, so the dog doesn't get injured, so you don't get injured further, and so the responders don't get injured.
Okay. Not a gate, yeah, behind the gate, yeah, it's fine, okay.
My question was just about stay on the line, because it won't be just me saying to the person when I text 911, this is my location and I have an emergency. They'll want to ask me questions back and forth about
Yes.
a medical history or something else about what, if I say my husband's not breathing.
Yes, they will ask other questions. If it is something, the example you used, my husband's not breathing, they will try and give you the instructions through text as far as how to start CPR, how to do artificial respirations to help until the first responders arrive.
Can I ask one more question, just of the group? Does everyone here know how to do CPR? No, is that something that you would like to have training on?
Yeah, I think we should have some kind of training on the CPR, yeah. I get some yes, some no, yes. Yeah, I would be curious to do that. I would be motivated to learn. Would there be a cost involved?
No, I'll see what I can find out. I don't think so.
Yeah, there will be a cost. The question was if there will be a cost, and they're saying, I think it's free. Debbie was even
I'll find out.
for free. I think people would really benefit. Most places have to pay, is what Rob was saying.
we're texting back and forth to 911 and the call gets dropped somehow, will they be able to retrieve it, or do we have to call 911 again and re-explain the situation?
No, once they have the information, they'll be entering it directly into their computer system for the response to come in. If the call does get dropped, the one thing we will receive is the phone number, so we can text back. And the only way you will see if the call does drop, you will get a message on your phone saying the call taker has disconnected. So you'll know if you still have more information to text back in. But also, the dispatcher will be able to pull back the previous conversation. So all the information will be there, they can go back and retrieve that, so you wouldn't have to repeat the entire story again.
And I know sometimes that it's a little bit stressful in emergency to know your exact address or location, but if you do go on your map app, also you can find an address of basically
Yes.
where you are, and maybe, you know, copy and paste it into the text.
Yeah, so you just find, yeah, from the, like Google Maps, Apple Maps, whatever you got, yeah, you can find the address, hit the button, see where you are, and just send that address. They're usually accurate, so at least we can send response to that area and make sure whether it be police or fire or EMS. Oh, okay.
Some phones have a share my location feature. Does that work on this?
No, that won't work because it's, the text message available nationwide that we can use for text to 911 is the basic simple text. As I said, what is on the phone. So no, that's also, no, again, no pictures, no videos, no emojis, just straight text.
I'm just curious, you know, people texting back and forth, the person, it's like they can't focus and they can't see the text, and they don't respond, what would we do then? So it's just,
They can't continue the conversation, it's not clear.
That would be handled on a case-by-case basis. Number one, we'd have the cell phone area of where the call came from. Also, we do get your phone number, so the police department and fire department do have systems that they can try and trace your phone number and at least get a location, you know, hopefully he's at home, but send somebody to your home to make sure you're okay. And then through that, they would keep trying to get contact back and forth to you to try and get some help to you.
but if you make mistakes, so like our vending machine that we call, you know, the video calls we call you on, if we text, you know, touch 911, we make a mistake and we hang up, I'm always thinking that the police will come knocking at the door, and I feel really bad about that. So it's like a warning of, you know, to be careful, not to call 911 when we press cancel it.
It's a good learning lesson for us, so.
Now, if we text 911 accident, it's a mistake, you know, how do you respond to that? If someone calls an accident?
Oh, I mean, if it's an accidental phone call, the police will probably show up, just ensure you're okay, ensure there's no problems, and leave, that's it. Same, I mean, any call, it happens all the time with 911 calls.
Well, I liked it.
Or arrest him.
Arrest him.
Well, no, hopefully that's some of the other groups that we talk to.
Yeah, it's a different story. If it happens once or twice or three times, then you don't do that.
You know, don't make that mistake again and again.
No. And one of the reasons why it took us this long to do it with the text, the way the call is delivered, at least the information that we get, this is as close to a voice 911 call that we get, so it's treated the same. We keep the records the same way. Also, again, I don't see anybody here doing it, but we've had several cases, and maybe one, somebody abusing 911, yes, we would press charges if they're purposely calling to tie up the system or to make responders run all over. Like I said, I don't see this group doing it, maybe a different group of people that I speak to that I have to stress on that message more.
Okay, thank you.
Suppose if,
Wait, is it your your turn or my turn? Okay. All right, here's my question. I just was curious, if you text 911 and you give your name and your location, and then, can you explain, like, you try to explain the situation a little bit, right? Those are the three things that you look for. And then after that, then you know basically through the cell tower how to find us. But I'm curious, through the number, is through my phone number that you're able to track us, or how does that pick us up where we're at?
Well, again, that goes through the cell phone carriers, how they do it. So right now, the tracking, they take your cell phone number and they get the XY coordinates, but they go off the towers. That's why we always say we ask for your location first, because it's not great. It's not great location from the text 911 service. That's why I was gonna ask for that first. But we do get a good phone number, so that if we can't with the location, if we're looking for something better, we can use the phone number. If you've contacted 911 before, it is the records, we can find it to try and locate somebody. And then after that, during the normal situation, you'll give the beginning information. Then the call taker will start asking you a stream of questions as far as if it's a medical call. Is the person breathing and conscious? Are they okay? Do they have a history of any medical issues? And then the call taker will ask questions that you'll respond to while they are sending the appropriate people over.
Okay, I get it. Oh, I have an iPhone, and, I have Find iPhone location app, you can find your iPhone. I signed up for that, and open it up. That will show a signal of where I'm at also. So some of my friends could find, they have iPhones also, and we could find each other's location through this app. But not yet, it's not connected 911 to that, right? So, does it work the same way as that app kind of, or not yet connected with that app?
No, it doesn't work that way. Mainly because of privacy concerns of the people that own the phones. It's one of those, they want the police to find them when they need the police, but when they don't want the police, they don't want them to be found. So that's why that function doesn't work with 911 at this time.
Okay.
Why locating
What is your location service must be on your phone to be able to do that function?
locate?
It doesn't need to be on, it'll find my.
No, once you text 911, the location service automatic. Once you text in 911, it automatically kicks on.
Oh, okay.
So you mean if, okay, let's say this happens. Sometimes my location is off and it doesn't work. So does that have to be on in order for you to find my location, or?
No, the location is still gonna give us, again, the closest we're gonna get is a cell phone tower when you text 911. But it'll still give us a cell phone tower. And that's, unfortunately, nationwide with the technology, that's the only location that's available right now, is the tower location.
Okay, so if the location is off, it'll still connect to some kind of cell tower,
Yes.
regardless if the settings on or off. Okay, all right, I understand now. Got it.
Yeah, that's why it's just so important to explain your location. If you're not in your house or at your house property, to explain where you are, on a street, on a corner, intersection, parking lot. Look up at the street lights, they all have the street names on the lights, usually at big intersections, and you can tell where you are and relay that to the 911 operator.
And then obviously, one of our final safety messages is, don't text and drive. If you need the police, pull off to the side of the road to a safe place and text us from there. And are there any more questions?
Okay, so I noticed that the texting system that we have on our phone would have all the information kind of preset. So if I contact it, it'll go automatically send something to you. I guess we don't have anything like that, right? Some kind of setting on there that it just automatically will send it to me. I wish my phone had some type of capability like that.
Unfortunately, the technology that's available to us right now isn't, I mean, it's something that
Yeah, I know, we have.
hopefully in the future, yes, that will be available, and, you know, we would like that. I mean, for us, the more information that we have available, the better. Right now, we're working with what we can get.
So it means that the company, they haven't set that up yet. It's really up to them to add that feature into the text. So that's something we have to, you know, like they have to do that and they have to be ready to kind of, you know, catch up with that. That would be nice.
Yes, correct.
Okay, got it.
Thank you, everyone. Also, we do have some free giveaways in the back, some pens and magnets, and a few things. And if you have any questions further, you could probably through Debbie, and we'll get the answers to you as quickly as possible. Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.